We're live here. Let's go here. Give me 1 minute, and we'll be back here with the full show. Here's Up My Life from yesterday.
Fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
All right, starting off with F My Life of Mine. I forgot how to press buttons. Rock 2.1. It's time for another round of F My Life. Give us a call if you got one you care to share on the air. You can do so anonymously as well. Beefvegan at KFMA.com. Subject line FML. Here's our first email. Today, my boyfriend took pictures of me while I was sleeping.
Okay.
Instead of it being all cute like you'd see on social media, there's me sleeping with this dirty ass sock on my face and him smiling in my background.
I got to say, F my life, but he's awesome.
Yeah, I want to hang out with this dude for sure. Yeah, F your life, but this guy is a guy's guy. Probably hilarious. So moving forward, today I was sitting next to the guy I'm trying to get close to while we were at a bar.
Okay.
Music was playing, so I thought while his attention was diverted, I would sneak out a yawn.
All right.
Just as I did so, the music went silent and I let out a tremendous burp.
At least you didn't fart.
Yeah,
Good baby.
right. If anything, that might be endearing.
You might dig on it.
I don't think guys in Tucson care about like that much ladylike demeanor. You know,
if it was
the rankings and stuff, which is great, Jorge. We're on the same page. 7.5 for appearance. That's very, very nice. Now, would you guys go out drinking and you hooked up? How'd that all come about?
Yeah, well, we had a pretty awesome time. I mean, she's kind of a freak in the sheets, which was super, super awesome, and I was not expecting it. I had a kind of surprise, so that was awesome.
All right, he's tipping his hat a little bit. It looks like he's about to get into some details. Before we get into the bedroom activities, it all starts with the kiss. So how would you rank Drum's kissing ability on a score 1 to 10?
I would give her kissing ability an 8.
An 8. Oh, you're a good kisser, Drum. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm super happy to hear about that so far.
Okay, nice. All right. Well, I mean, again, you were already alluding to that she's a freak in the sheets, Jorge. So I guess it's time. Like, why don't you explain to me what exactly you mean by saying Drum is a freak in the sheets?
Well, I mean, you know, kissing wasn't just like mouth-to-mouth kissing. I mean, she kissed everywhere. She kissed everywhere. It blew my mind.
Oh, okay.
It was out of control.
Yeah. So it was a full night of fun activities, and there was no just missionary and then done. It sounds like you guys had a lot of different fun, huh?
Yeah, everywhere and everything. So,
jeez,
put it that way.
Okay. Well, then here's the $1 million question right now, Jorge. Based off of what you told us, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is Drum in bed?
I don't even think 10 is enough. I'm going to go 10.
Oh, perfect. 10, Drum. Look at you. I think you're the first person to score a 10.
Oh, my God.
This is not
I'm
even
so glad you liked it.
Yeah, that is not a surprise at all, actually, because you seem to be most verbally the biggest freak on the show. But according to Jorge, you're not all talk. Yeah, he's saying for sure. Wow. Well, congratulations, Jorge. That sounded like a great time.
Yeah, it was a blast. Unexpected.
Yeah, see, now he's in great mood too, which is unfortunate. One thing I forgot to tell you is that turnabout is fair play. It's time for Drum to take Jorge to the score report. Let's go. You like I said unfortunate there? Setting up Jorge for disappointment as we're going to do part 2 of the score report. First off, one more round of applause for Drum getting a 10. This guy was blown away by her freak skills. So I know you got a lot of people out there wondering what exactly Jorge means, and let them keep wondering.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys guessing.
All right. So we got round 2 of the score report where Drum returns the favor and then rates Jorge's performance in bed on a scale of 1 to 10. That's going to come up right after Lincoln Park. It's Rock 2.1 KFMA. Don't go away.
Those of you off very unexpected. You have purple hair. What was he expecting?
Yeah.
Like, oh, she'll just lay there like a fish.
Oh, God. No. I am an active participant.
All right, so good morning, everybody. Yeah, sorry, the show was about a minute or two behind schedule and everything else. I've been having an off day, and that's 100% my bad. I'm trying to get my shit together and still not 100% there. Thank God for the score report. It gives me a minute or two to regain my composure. To recap what you missed, I don't know. I went through my insecurities for about 7 minutes on air.
Yeah.
That wasn't great.
Constipation.
I talked about my constipation as a child and pooping myself. That is not necessarily content made for everybody. I don't know what my motivation was for that, but I went there. Oh, I went there. And now there was a story behind it, and it was a guy in Australia that his gigantic poo almost killed him and actually paralyzed him for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I should have just stuck to that story instead of adding my 2 cents and be like, oh, this guy, he beat my record. So, yeah, I went into that. That was not cool. Dre is accusing me of saying nappy-headed hose many times over.
You tried your best to get it in. I don't care if you're quoting Don Imus or not. Like, I'm going to say nappy-headed hose on the radio.
In reference, I totally get away with it when talking about Imus. It was not something I was calling somebody. I wasn't calling, like, a drum that name or anything else. So yes, woe is right, Derek. So that's where I'm at today. But the good news is, we got Dre and Drum in studio, and after we do round 2 of the score report, we're going to be doing another one, and there's a bunch of other stuff that we didn't get to today because I was too busy talking about my poo habits. You could tell I'm defeated. Do I look defeated?
A little, yeah. I said
Just-
that at
just
the
a
beginning
bit.
of the show.
Looks like a little like you're having one of those flashbacks right now.
What, a poo flashback?
Yep.
Yeah. I know.
A single tear rolling down his cheek later, guys.
I know. I should be feeling fantastic, but I had a late night last night. I blame it on my girlfriend. She was feeling horny, and she knows that her Aunt Flo is coming to town here soon. So we had to try to get one in before, we had to beat the clock, basically.
You can also do about Aunt Flo is visiting, just so you know. Just lay down some towels.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I get it. No, and I do, and I have. In fact, actually, I was taught in middle school. I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, and it was a school for troublemakers. So I was shipped to this school, but I remember the teacher there was telling the class, a bunch of 8th grade students, that that is the best time of month to get it on because it's nature's lube. Now, fast forward, she was a teacher that got busted for having an affair with a student. So in hindsight, makes sense that this woman would be telling a bunch of 14-year-olds this. But it was definitely not in the health class book. And we were not in health class when she was telling us this. I think it was
I
math.
don't think Arizona had sex ed.
I don't think we do. I think we have don't do it.
Yep. Or
Class.
else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what really prevents pregnancy? Abstinence.
Yes.
That's what we got in high school.
I know. That's true. I don't know if I don't think my daughter has a sex ed class in high school, and she goes to Catalina, so I'm pretty sure they're all doing it.
All right, so learn firsthand.
Huh?
So learn firsthand.
I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna pull up our Facebook real quick because the big story of the day that we touched on earlier in the show in the 6 o'clock hour is this dude who was the baby on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind album. Now, I've read several stories over the years about this kid. He was super proud to be the baby on the Nevermind album cover. And so much so, in fact, that he got Nevermind tattooed across his chest.
Oh.
Yeah. And in an interview that I read before he recreated the iconic album cover 25 years later, was him talking about it and, being proud of the fact that he's a part of rock and roll history. Very much so. And he should be, right? So I posted this thing. Now, this guy is suing every single member of Nirvana, the record label, anybody he could attempt to sue, claiming that he was a victim of child porn.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, everyone knows this album cover. It's so iconic, it was even on The Simpsons. A lot of people would argue that this is art, and I would be one of those people. Saying this is iconic 100%, not even close to pornographic. What do you guys say? I'm asking you two, Drum and Dre.
I mean, I don't feel like it's pornographic whatsoever.
Yeah, I never thought, I don't think anyone, I hope nobody's looking at that picture and thinking, this is how I'm going to get to the liquor store. Because if so, please, no.
You actually said the liquor store comment in the score report that we're about to play right here. What the fudge does that mean? Take it to the liquor store.
It means get to where you need to go. You know what I mean?
No, you can't just say you know what I mean, and I expect me to know what you mean.
In terms of two adults,
yeah, I mean, I
doing
get
what they got to do.
I get I get the saying is meaning that you're gonna climax, but I don't understand the reference of getting to the liquor store.
If your goal is the liquor store, aka an O, you got to drive to the liquor store first, right? Well, are you gonna drive yourself there, or are you gonna have someone in the car with you?
This is a South Tucson saying, dude, for sure. There's no way this is a saying outside of your bubble. There's no way. No one's saying this in Nebraska.
I don't think so. Definitely, probably a South Tucson thing then.
Right. We're going to share these comments, but first you got to hear round 2 of the score report. Here's Drum rating Jorge on a scale of 1 to 10. He did not like his score, by the way. Check this out.
And then we started hooking up. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Someone tell me how to feel.
And there's our young Romeo now, and whoa, he has scored.
Beef Vegan presents the score report.
Score.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. Now, you're right off the bat, you're saying, oh, no, you're feeling bad. Jorge, how do you feel like your performance was?
I mean, I think it was mutual. I mean, we were on a ride. So I'm saying, like, I would give myself a 9, 10.
Giving yourself a 9, 10, that's pretty generous. First off, Drum, what would you rate Jorge's appearance?
Well, when I saw him, I was like, wow, this guy is like really cute.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd give him about like a 7.
Okay, 7 on appearance. So far, so good, Jorge. 7's not bad. All right, so then you started making out with Jorge. What would you rate his kissing ability on a score of 1 to 10?
At first he was like a little like subtle, like nervous. I could tell. Which same. I was super nervous. But I'd give his kissing probably. I'd stick to a 7 right there.
Okay, 7. 7's not bad either, Jorge. So far, so good. You got 7 for appearance, 7 for kissing. Not everyone's a perfect kisser. I mean, besides me, most people get around 7, so that's good. That's good news. All right, well, I mean, everything's leaning towards the positive. Let's break down the bedroom performance, Drum. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Jorge in bed?
Oh my God. Okay, so he was pretty nervous when we were starting stuff off, and just a little clumsy. But I'd have to give his score about a 5.
A 5. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, Jorge, you just said you were a 9, dude. Are you surprised at getting a 5?
What are you talking about, Drum? Are you serious?
I mean, well, I was kind of showing you, the ropes, the maps of, when we were warming stuff up.
What?
And
No.
She had to show you everything that you had to do there, Jorge. She was basically...
No.
But you were just a little clumsy. You were just poking a little too much.
What are you talking about? I was not clumsy. I wasn't nervous. I was in control.
Are you saying he was in control? You don't remember him being in control, Drum?
I was top the entire time.
Top the entire time?
You liked it.
Well, I mean,
you seemed into it.
Well, you seemed into it too. I mean, you got all. I mean, you were involved. Come on, what are you talking about?
See, so she's saying she was freaky and you weren't freaky enough, Jorge.
That's crazy. What are you talking about? I was freaky.
What did you do that was so freaky, Jorge?
Yeah, but see, the thing is that you were into it. So were you faking it? You were into it.
Well, here's the thing, Jorge. I am the master of making sure I always get to the liquor store.
Oh, so she's saying she didn't even need you to accomplish reaching an O, Jorge. You were just a lucky warm body to be there.
Wow, you used me, huh?
I'm sorry, but I mean, thank you for being there. It was a great time for me. But
all right,
also,
so great time for her. That's fine,
I
Jorge.
can't believe it.
I mean, it's still like, a happy customer, kind of.
She's kind of stomping on my manhood right now, but
Oh.
I whatever.
Yeah. So Jorge was not a fan of his score in the score report. What a big baby, this guy. And I actually had to edit out a lot of his complaining. There was a lot of complaining, right, Drum?
There was a lot. He kept trying to change the story. I was like, we were both there. I remember as clearly as you.
Yeah. He's like, what are you talking about? You gotta give me a higher number, Drum. You loved it, right? Tell me you loved it.
Like,
oh man.
Beg in the bedroom, but don't beg IRL.
Yeah. There you go. That was Drum in the score report. Good job, Drum. We have another one with Drum coming up here in a few, as well as our rundown of our cancel court recap. Who we're canceling today? The kid that was on the cover of the Nirvana album, Nevermind. I'll tell you more about that later. It's Beef Vegan Presents on Rock 102.1.
Rock 102.1 info is KFMA.
5 is average.
What?
5 is just average. He's fine.
Yeah, no, I was.
It's not the worst.
Oh, look,
I was actually, I was trying to think of the worst experience I've ever had, and I was like if I was going with improvision of what we've had so far, I was like, it would probably be a 5.
I think that might have been a little too nice, to be honest with you. And based off how he reacted, I wish you gave him a 3. Now, with that though, yeah, I tried talking him off the ledge. Because, he's bitching and complaining. I'm like, dude, 5 is completely a respectable number. If I do a score report, and I'll eventually do a score report, I'm hoping for at least a 5. I want that to happen.
He was, I think in his head, he was just hoping for I am God mode. Yeah. And I'm like, you are not.
You are not God, yes.
I feel really bad though, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I was like, I also got to be honest. So
called in. He volunteered.
Yeah,
he volunteered.
Yeah, he thought he was just gonna rate you, so he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. I'll brag about banging drum." So he didn't realize that we were gonna, switch it up on him, and that's his bad. It's actually not his bad. I kind of, I lied to him, but it was for the sake of radio. I'm sure he understands and appreciates. I'm sure he's listening at home, thinking like, "Oh, you know what? I don't regret that at all. Maybe Drum will call me back." Maybe not.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. If you're watching this on air, Jorge, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, and everyone on the stream knows that you can drive yourself to the liquor store now that you're legal of the age to buy liquor in a drive-through liquor store, which is, I think, a strictly Arizona thing. Have you seen
drive-through liquor stores?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I've never seen them anywhere else.
Right.
You know what? You're right. I've
been
to other states, and I don't think I've seen.
Because it's a terrible idea.
It's the best idea.
No.
It's bad.
Yeah.
17, the first one. It's like, oh, they don't check everyone's ID. Just check the driver, and you're good to go.
No,
all right.
There was a drive-through liquor store in my area when we were going to high school. It was called Habib's, right? Well, that's what everyone called it because the owner's name was Habib. But I don't think that was the actual title of the liquor store. But every high school kid went there to buy their $3 pack of cigarettes. No ID whatsoever. Habib was slanging, making bank from selling to underage kids all the time. And I'm sure it was liquor as well. But yeah, I mean, you could look like you were 8 and he'd sell you a pack of cigarettes in the 90s. No shame.
That's not like the most outlandish story I've heard. I've had Theos and Theas tell me about how they went to certain liquor stores, and I won't name drop them because you don't snitch. But they go to those liquor stores still, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I remember you from when you were 9." I'm like, "Hold up, hold up."
Yeah,
explains a lot. But you've been serving them since they were 9, and I'm pretty sure these are all hooligans. So I'm pretty sure they were not just eating candy and ice cream.
Running the errands.
Running the errands.
Right, but you see how the drive-through liquor store is flawed as a concept because to discourage drinking and driving, the last thing you want is to drive through liquor store. So, I mean, I haven't lived a crime-free life. I'm a flawed person. I definitely have driven through the liquor store, gotten a Hawaiian punch with a little bottle of vodka, threw some vodka in there, and had a nice little cocktail on my way to the bar. So again, I don't encourage that. And it was long enough ago to where I think I can't get in trouble for it.
Right. Yeah. They didn't have Uber. You would have Ubered, right?
Yeah. It was before Uber. What do you expect me to do without
There's
Uber?
no option.
No
Man,
option whatsoever.
You think the drive-through liquor store is popping though? During the pandemic, that line was never ending.
Yeah.
It just kept going.
Yeah, no, it was good business for sure. Yeah, they dug the pandemic. Everything with the drive-through was big business. But yeah, I have a couple friends that own drive-through liquor stores. I should have talked to them about it and asked them how much they were raking up. They probably had 100% increase of sales.
Oh yeah,
at the very least, especially the first couple months when everyone was kind of on lockdown. So yeah, they must have felt like geniuses at that point. Like we knew it was coming. We have a lot more show to go, but we did do a round of cancel court. This is the first cancel court in a couple weeks, but this kid deserved to be canceled. Instead of explaining it to you, let me show you this.
Beef Vegan presents Cancel Court.
I got courtside seats. I'm in. Who's on trial?
All right, time for another round of cancel court. This week's going to be a little different because I am proposing that we cancel a man named Spencer Eldon, 600 KFMA, that's 600-5362. If you want to be the jury and weigh in on whether or not Spencer should get canceled. Now, who is Spencer Eldon? Well, he is the naked baby on the cover of the Nirvana classic album, Nevermind. Everyone knows that. You know that album cover, right, Jay?
Oh, yeah. Listen to rock all the time.
Right. But even if you don't listen to rock, knowing that the naked baby on Nirvana's cover, that's iconic. Right. So he's 30 years old now. And he was only 4 months old when he was photographed for the cover, wiener and all. We all know this. And the baby was well endowed. So it wasn't even a bad representation. It was a very punk rock move to put a wiener on an album cover and then be able to sell it in like Targets. But that was the case with Nirvana's Nevermind. Now, in his lawsuit, he notes that he couldn't legally consent to the image being used because he was 4 months old. And now he's claiming it was child pornography. This 30-year-old man is claiming that he's a victim of child pornography. It was art. If anyone asks, it was on the album cover. Nobody looked at that in a pornographic way. Everyone knows that's not a pornographic image, but still, this is his case in court. He also says the band promised to cover his nether region with a sticker, but never did. And that's not 100% true either. There were definitely retailers that would put a sticker over the baby wiener on the Nirvana album cover, right? Now he's suing the band, its surviving members, Kurt Cobain's estate, the photographer, the record labels that released the album, everybody. He is suing everybody. And he wants $150,000 from each of them. So he's looking to get a ton of money. Now, Spencer actually has the word Nevermind tattooed across his chest. I remember reading an interview with Spencer when he was a young child. Not a young child. I mean, when he was like in his early 20s. He was actually proud of the fact that he was the baby on the cover of Nirvana's album. And why wouldn't he be, right? It's one of the most iconic album covers of all time. That's your claim to fame. And that was a good one. I'm sure it got him laid numerous times. He even bragged about how he's packing heat down there. That was a representation of my soon-to-be growth. And I got a huge wiener, and just like I had a huge baby wiener. It's what he said, not verbatim, but in a way, that's how braggadocious he was when talking about the Nirvana Nevermind album cover less than 10 years ago. Now, he's 30 years old, a loser, doesn't have any money, doesn't have any prospects, and figures this is the way that he's going to become rich because he's not getting any money for being the naked baby on the album cover. Right? Now, in 2016, he recreated the photo of the 25th anniversary of the album. So he's even recreated the album less than 6 years ago. He wasn't naked, but still, it was the same year. And he admitted that he was happy to be associated with. So what changed? I'll tell you what changed. He's broke. He apparently doesn't have anything going on in his life and figured this would be the easiest way out. So should Spencer Eldon, a.k.a. Naked Baby on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind album, be canceled for being essentially, what's the word that I'm searching for? An opportunist, a scumbag, somebody who is a hypocrite, contradicting his previous statements for the sake of a quick cash fall. I don't know. The lawsuit says that he suffered permanent physical, psychological, and financial harm from the photo. The only financial harm that this kid has had is that he's been coasting on the fact that he was the baby on the Nirvana album. He was doing that. He probably got through a lot in life. Yeah, definitely a lot of girlfriends. Probably got a couple A's along the way just for saying, hey, yeah, I was the baby on the Nirvana album. Like, oh, that's awesome. You get an A in my class. You don't even have to do homework because I love that album. All right, Rock had someone calling. So 600 KFMA, weigh in. Should Spencer Eldon be canceled? Personally, as the judge and prosecutor in this case, you know which side I'm leaning on. I feel like I'm presenting a pretty compelling case. What do you think, Dre?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course.
Okay.
If anything, he needs to be suing his parents. Like, they're the ones that let this happen.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how many naked pictures my family has of me as a kid? And they consent to any of that.
Yeah, it's true.
Can I sue them for $150,000?
I don't know if they have it. All right, Rock 102.1. Who's this?
This is Joey.
Joey, should this kid, Spencer Eldon, be canceled?
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
He already got his, he's got plenty from it. Cancel him.
Yeah, I dig it, Joey. Thanks for the call. 600 KFMA. Keep those calls coming in. I need to know, and then we'll reveal. I'm leaning towards guilty. I pretty much think we're all on the same page. If you think not guilty, if you have a good argument, then give me a call on that as well. But I don't think I'll have it. This kid, screw this kid. And you know what? Buy the Nevermind album. Actually, illegally download the album cover and put it as your wallpaper on your computer. No, that's just weird now. Okay, anyways, that was my cancel court. Coming up here in just a few minutes. Yeah, I ended it with a weird statement. See, this is the kind of frame of mind that I had today. You know, I'm arguing against a guy claiming that he was taken advantage of and his picture is child porn. And then I tell people to illegally download that picture and use it as their screensaver on their computer. In retrospect, that was a bad statement. So I guess I'll start off my apologies early. Let me recap all my apologies, shall we? Okay, so suggesting you put a naked baby as your screensaver. I apologize for that already. Talking about poo habits. I apologize for that as well. And my insecurities and talking like 10 minutes at a time, just rambling. I apologize for that as well. Jesus.
Bearing your soul out there.
Bearing my soul. This is my therapy today. It's a therapy show. We got 5 seconds where we're on the air. Let's do this. Rock 2.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents Therapy. As I'm going through all my issues this morning, I do want to share your comments, though. So earlier in cancel court, we talked about Spencer Eldon. Spencer Eldon was the naked baby on Nirvana's Nevermind album, right? So it's an iconic album. And Spencer's been super proud of this. And we did a cancel court on him to talk about canceling Spencer for suing the band, the labels, and everyone involved. He's basically suing about 10 different people for $150,000 a piece. I'm sure he's even suing Frances Bean Cobain, who has complained that she has too much money. So maybe that's an easy one. Maybe she could just kick him down some ducats because it sounds like he's broke and he just needs some money because the guy has been recreating this album cover in his 20s. He's been definitely getting laid by saying he's the naked baby on Nirvana's cover. I mean, just imagine, like, Drum, if a guy came up to you and said that he was that naked baby on the Nirvana album cover and showed you his Nevermind tattoo and showed you the picture of him as a baby, would that be enough for you to think about hooking up with him? Honestly, you just hooked up with a guy named Jorge who he only gave you a 5 in bed. So
Wait, me?
Yeah.
No, he gave me a 10 in bed.
Well, no, you gave him a 5 in bed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy's probably better than a 5. Would you hook up with naked baby from Nirvana?
I might. I don't know. It depends. It depends how. Like,
well, we're not getting
cool
into
story,
the depends.
Yeah,
I needed a yes or no.
If he doesn't pass the vibe check, I'm like, nah.
Well, wrong answer. I needed a yes or no. Yes or no, real quick.
Nah.
Bang the baby?
Probably
Okay.
not.
All right, fair enough. These are the comments that we got on the Rock 1021 Facebook page because I posted this and I was like, this loser's now suing the band because he's 30 years old. He's not making any money. So Cindy wrote, just pay the guy and move on. Frances was just complaining about how she feels guilty for her inheritance. But Liz countered that and said, no, dude, he's been milking this photo for years. He's just desperate for money. He recreated the photo more than once, to which Ryan actually posted the recreation. Lamar wrote, I'm going to see Spencer. Oh, I'm going to sue Spencer if he gets any money. I'd forgotten about this picture, but after seeing it again, I'm traumatized for seeing a naked baby. Jessica said someone's desperate for money. Manny wrote, if I walked by this guy in public, I wouldn't know who he was. Dude was accomplished nothing in life. Pretty much a get rich quick scheme. If there was a real problem, why didn't his parents sue? Now his parents got paid $200 for that picture. So they basically rented out their baby for $200. And then the photographer's like, cool, I could have this baby for an hour. Right on. And then just throws the baby in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what your parents did for $200. If anything, sue your parents. You almost drowned for the sake of $200. I can go to the phones real quick. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
This is Ryan.
Ryan, what do you got to say about this?
I think he's pissed off because his wang hasn't gotten any bigger since that photo was originally taken.
That's funny as you say that, but he has bragged that his wang actually got way bigger, and it was a good representation. I mean, even as a baby wang, like that baby was packing.
Well, but doesn't mean it had to have grown. Maybe he's looking for his money so he can get some kind of extension put on there or something. Hey, come on, man. Hey, leave a dead man alone, for Christ's sakes. What's wrong with this?
I know.
Your prick didn't get any bigger.
I love it, Ryan. Thanks for the call, brother. All right, so what say you? 600 KFMA. You could post your comments on our Facebook page as well, because we got a good argument thread going on there. But I say don't pay this kid a dime. And maybe he can go to Comic-Cons or something and be the kid that was on the album cover. He'll make some money that way. Right?
Yeah, that's a good loophole.
Yeah, I still think you would bang this dude, by the way, Drum.
I don't know. After seeing the pictures, probably not. Especially if he's a whiner like this.
Yeah, well, now, I mean, you kind of take away his swagger because he sues, and nobody likes someone who sues. But at the same time, if he was at a bar and he's like, hey, you want to see a D pic of me? And then he shows him on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind, one of the highest grossing albums of all time. That's game.
But
That's
I'm not
game.
here for the clout.
Yeah, drummer rate him a 5, and then she gets sued.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. She knows her way to the liquor store. All right, we'll have another one with drum news coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents. Clear. Oh, yeah, we're still on the stream. I forgot. See, that's how out of it I am today. All right.
You saw clear. Anyways.
Right.
Let's reveal all my secrets.
Yeah, that was a good comment, Manny. I shared that on there.
Good.
Yeah, and look at this picture. So yeah, it's a kid now. And this was like, what, 5 years ago he recreated this?
Probably. How?
It was 2016. So yeah, it was 5 years ago. It's brutal.
So yeah, he would have done it naked if it was actually well endowed. He's not going to cover it up now.
Well, no, now it's actually, it would be, it would be graphic. It would be porn. See a
he
man
could have started
penis.
an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
He had one chance.
And he still, can't now. In fact, OnlyFans just went on the record saying the reason why they're not doing porn on their site anymore is because of the banks. A lot of people speculated it was because of the banks, but there was 3 major banks in particular. It was, let's see, Bank of New York, Mellon, JP Morgan Chase, and then Metro Bank. Those 3 banks would not accept payments through OnlyFans. And unfortunately for a business like OnlyFans, they have to rely on these banks to process the payments. And since the banks were like, we don't support anything porn related, then they couldn't operate like this. Now, this raises the question and the debate that when do big banks, or when did we give big banks the rights to tell us what's decent and what's not decent, right? A lot of people argue that these sex workers found a safe haven in OnlyFans.
It's Fansly.
Well, Fansly is the new thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter where they go to next, Drum, because every website that blows up that does what OnlyFans did are going to end up having the same problems eventually. The big banks are going to shut them down as well. So, OnlyFans doing this, they didn't want to give up $400 million a year in revenue. That's what they were making. That was just their cut. That was their pimp's share. They got 20% of everything that came into OnlyFans. So they were forced to say, okay, I guess we won't make $400 million a year anymore for hosting this website. And it's something that obviously they didn't want to do, but they felt forced. They had no choice. They got too big to a point where the bank said, we're not going to accept this money. So your only option is to stop doing the porn. Now, Fansly right now is just starting in a way. I mean, it's been around for a little bit, but this is where all the OnlyFans girls are going to.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them, promote it and everything else. But again, once it gets to the point where Fansly is now the new OnlyFans and everyone knows the name of that website, the banks are going to shut them down too. So
but we have the power to change things too. I don't want to get too into it, but we basic participation, people just call the banks out. Let's go.
Well, see, that's easier said than done, Drum. In the history of this country, can you reference any time we fought against the big banks and won? You can't. So, I mean, I'm going to save you the trouble of trying to, even think of any situation. In fact, the 2008 mortgage crisis that happened, where banks were giving everybody loans and reaping tons of benefits and put themselves into a hole. They lost tons of money. They should have been out of business, but the government bailed them out. They're too big to fail.
No.
So in this situation, okay, you guys fucked our entire economy up. You ruined the lives of millions of people. And then you get bailed out. Now you're turning around and telling people who are trying to make a living for themselves that they're not making money the right way. What's the right way?
It's the world's oldest profession, right?
Yes.
No, really, it is.
Yeah. So, but is lying and stealing the right way? Because that's what these big banks have done during the mortgage crisis and a lot of other situations. I'm not even a finance expert, believe it or not. Not an expert of anything.
I mean, there's always going to be someone who's going to step up. And if these big banks want to keep taking the pride route, they're going to lose out. There's other people who are going to figure it out.
Maybe you should start a bank.
Let me win the lotto first or something. You got to be you have to have some sort of big bank backup or rich money backup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, big banks stepping in and saying, no, you can't take this money because of the way that you're making it or it's inappropriate. It's the same thing as you not being able to win the lottery because you picked the number 69, right? So they deem that indecent to their standards. It's only their standards. And then say, sorry, you eliminated yourself because you chose 69. You went to dinner for 2 route. And we find that completely disgusting. It's blowjobs and nothing else. That's the way we do business here at JP Morgan.
Straight to the liquor store.
Straight to the liquor store.
I'm glad you guys like that reference.
No, I don't actually.
I don't get it either.
Yeah, it's not your best reference. You come up with some pretty good references.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, but okay, where did you hear the liquor store reference?
Actually hanging out with my mom. You just you can take yourself to the liquor store. It's right there down the corner. You just
That's it. So your mom taught you that one?
Yeah.
All right.
It was a pretty clever one and it just stuck. We just started saying, yeah, you just drive yourself to the liquor.
It's a generational saying. So grandma always said you're going to have a kid. And then your kid's going to be like, grandma always said you could always take yourself to the liquor store. Woo. And that's fantastic. And then just generational. I mean, right now, she passed it down one generation. I know you're going to tell your kid the liquor store reference. And if your kid tells their kid, oh man.
If the kid thing happens ever, yeah, sure. Just yeah. Or I'll just teach every niece and nephew I come across.
There you go.
You remember this?
Yeah, that's too funny. Yeah, so that was another big story that we didn't get to today because I was too busy talking about pooping myself.
Let's stick it to the man, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, good luck on that. Again, there was another situation that was, I think you were in grade school when this happened. It was called the Occupy movement.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was. It was to occupy the big banks and Wall Street and fight against the big business. So what happened? Well, for about 6 months, people camped out at parks. And then they stopped and nothing happened. The Occupy movement had no leader, right? That was part of the movement. They were all kind of that was their selling point. Hey, we're all in this together. There is no leader in this party. But the problem is with no leader, there's no direction. So I noticed very early on in the Occupy movement that there was no end goal. There was no plan in place to change anything. It was just a bunch of people sitting around complaining, and then getting maced for their troubles. You remember the Occupy movement, Trey?
No, I mean I've heard of it, but it's not like
you were younger as well.
Actual memory of it.
Yeah, just a little bit over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it sucked. The idea behind it was great. It was fighting against the man and blaming the businesses that put our economy in a position that it was in. But again, it was just people spinning their wheels and just sitting around and, fighting amongst themselves or fighting against, police. And then at the end of the day, it just went away. That was the birth of Anonymous. You guys seen Anonymous, right? Those Anonymous videos?
Yeah.
Cool mask.
Yeah. That was the birth of Anonymous. And the Anonymous videos will pop up talking about occupying and how they were going to change the world and the financial structure and take down the man. And it all looked really good. It was something to be very excited about. And a lot of people got really excited about it. And then nothing got accomplished. And it's unfortunate. So, it's up to the youth to fight against the wrongs in the world. So my generation came and went. We tried by sitting in a park getting high. So what's your plan?
I mean, not to kill the whole conversation, but I just saw on my phone that OnlyFans reversed its decision to.
Oh, really?
Nice.
So
did that just update?
Backlash.
That's fantastic. That's great news. Okay, I gotta look that up. All right, so we have another one with drum coming up here in about 3 minutes. Let me share you this clip real quick. Let's play the little game. I think I played that already. I'll do F My Life. Here's a flashback of F My Life to share with you.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward. Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, that's the number 600 KFMA. Let's get underway with another round of F My Life. I got Aaron weighing in on these F My Life situations. These are some emails I got at beefvegan@kfma.com. This first email is from Sandra.
All right, I'm ready for him.
All right. Today, a guy said to me, I really love to see that smile back at my place.
Ooh.
Trying to be cute, I asked him if he was single. He replied with, no, but I am a dentist. I could definitely fix that crossbite.
Ouch.
She was game too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would take the free dental advice.
Oh, so you're saying big baby?
I'd say big baby, go get that crossbite checked out. Maybe next time it'll actually be hitting on you.
I say F My Life, but I think the real lesson that we learned here is hit on a girl with a crossbite. She'll go home with you immediately. All right, next situation. Today, on my way to work, I had to squeeze by a man in a large truck parked next to my car. This is from Emily, by the way.
Yeah.
I was in a bit of a hurry, and in my rush, the collar of my shirt got caught on his grill. My shirt ripped, and I flashed the guy my entire boob.
Oh, what a good day for this guy. Just sitting in his car, minding his own business.
Right, but it's not this guy writing in for F My Life. It's Emily.
All right, I'm gonna go. Free the nip, big baby.
Oh, no, I disagree again, Aaron. We're not on the same page. I say F My Life today because your shirt's ruined, for sure.
Yeah.
Not because you flashed the boob.
All right, that's a good point.
Yeah, the boob thing was cool.
Especially if it was one of her favorite shirts. We don't know the details.
I think it was a work shirt. Yeah. All right, next situation. Today, I witnessed a hit and run. I used my phone to write down the license plate for the police. However, I did not notice that my phone had auto-corrected the number.
Oh, I'll give that an F My Life. She's trying to do her civil duty.
Right. Well, you know what? And this is from Anonymous, but I'm going to say big baby.
We're not on the same page.
We are not on the same page. That's all right. We'll come across one, All right. So this next one's pretty funny. This is from Tom out in Vail. Today, thanks to my phone's predictive text combined with me being half asleep, I accidentally offered my heartbroken buddy, quote unquote, oral support if he ever needs it. This is from Tom out in Vail. What do you say, F My Life?
Oh, F My Life, Tom. It sounds like you might end up having to do this.
Yeah. All right. And our final F My Life of the day. And see, I agreed with you on that one. And we'll probably agree on this one, too. This is from Melissa in Oro Valley. Today, I helped my friend, who is a slob, move out of my house. I found the source of the funky smell she's been complaining about under her bed. It was her vibrator. I found it with my bare hands. I had to bleach my hands twice, and I still don't feel clean. F my life, Aaron.
F my life on that one.
100%. That is gross. Rock 102.1. Welcome back to the show. Real quick, breaking news before we get into another one. OnlyFans has reversed its decision to ban explicit material. That means porn. So they have reversed their decision. It seems like they found a bank that will process their payments. And this is good news. This is good news to all the workers out there. It's good news for the show because that means we can still continue with our idea of having the OnlyFans model of the week. You know what I mean? Oh, I hope that happens.
But didn't I tell you there's always someone who's like, I'm not stupid. I'm going to take this gamble on the money. And when all the other banks that said no, see how much money it's actually pulling, they're going to be like, damn.
I guess they found one big bank. Well, I guess you were right, Drum. Good for you. I like it. Let's get into another one.
Breaking news from Main Street to your street.
I think you just blew this thing wide open.
God, I love the local news. Every summer they tell me how to beat the heat, and every summer it works.
So, what are we doing? Are we just jumping right into this? Or
all right, Drum, what do you got for us today in the news?
Starting off, 25% of young adults say they work harder than previous generations.
Oh, really? Well, would you say you work harder than previous generations, Drum?
Honestly, no. I'm honest, but no generation worked harder than the other. Everyone had their own different struggles. I would argue, though, that the boomers really went through it.
Yeah. Yep. I would say that. My grandfather's generation, I feel like they worked really hard. At the beginning of the first recession in the 1920s, that seemed like a tough time, and they didn't have opportunities to have extra gigs like Uber, So, you might have more jobs, you might get paid less, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you work harder.
Well, see, you got to be careful with that. That's because now it's harder. It is a harder struggle to live, but we're going to get into that. They didn't specify how they're working harder, but that age, by that age, 18 to 17-year-old, more than 25% said that they have to work harder than the previous generation because applying to colleges, getting the student loans, landing those jobs, paying bills, developing that social network and personal lives. So where the boomers had didn't have the opportunities, we have these opportunities. You have to navigate all this stuff, but it's we're working hard in a different kind of way. So I mean, it just changes.
We have a lot of side hustles.
There's a lot of side hustles.
We do, and everyone here on the show has side hustles for sure. I mean, I have several, and I'll be getting into them as we get into the fall because they dry up in the summertime. But yeah, and when I got fired the first time from this company, I was scared. I was like, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I still have 3 more jobs. I can pay my bills that way. So it actually paid off for me. All right, what else you got here in the news?
You shouldn't brush your teeth right after breakfast.
What?
An oral health expert on TikTok said you shouldn't brush your teeth immediately after breakfast because your mouth is more acidic right after you eat.
You lost me on TikTok. Is there any expert on TikTok? Apparently, everyone on TikTok's an expert. But yeah, so this is the trend. Now, why do you not brush your teeth?
Apparently, you'd end up brushing the acid into your teeth, and that can eat away at the enamel.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Although, side note, yes, real professionals do use TikTok to reach out and get manage your business. It's great for their businesses and stuff.
Okay.
Reaches such a large audience.
Look at Drum defending the TikTok. That's my fault. I should never insult TikTok in front of a 22-year-old.
More than anything, it's if you're going to insult, at least make an educated insult.
Okay. At least don't be stupid. Oh, okay. All right. You got that one. You're on fire today, Drum. Let's wrap it up with one more story. What you got?
Study found you shouldn't take pills with coffee, juice, or soda.
So all these shouldn'ts, everything in this study is don't do this, don't do that. Why not take pills with coffee, juice, or soda?
Anything other than water can affect how the pills break down in your stomach. If it happens to be too fast, your body doesn't have enough time to absorb the medication. So unless your doctor says otherwise, stick with the water.
I know there's people out there listening and it's I want those pills to kick in immediately. So I'm going to drink it with a double espresso. Excellent job in the news today, Drum. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap things up with the beef tip right after this. Stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. There you go.
I learned I was brushing my teeth wrong with my mechanical toothbrush. Like I kept using it like a regular toothbrush, but apparently you're supposed to just set it.
Just put it, set it, and forget
You're
it.
not even supposed to like
Yeah.
circular motion or anything. I didn't know that.
Supposed to like leave it on the tooth and go to the next. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Ooh, burn Beefovich. It's like, no, it's okay to make guesses. Just make them educated guesses. Stupid. I'm like, oh,
I didn't call
jeez.
you stupid. I was
You
just
might as
saying,
well.
if you're
I
gonna
took it that
roast-
way, Drum. Saying all these TikTok experts, all these great doctors going straight to TikTok. They do
TikTok
that.
University. I love that, Christina.
Yeah. That's how we're learning.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's like if my our generation, like my generation does work hard with different things. I thought that was interesting that they said that they work harder than previous. I'm not sure that's true. I think all of us are just trying to make it work.
I just think the idea is that back in the day you could have one job and have ends meet, where now it's like
Now it's like if you don't have a side hustle, you're
Yeah.
not going to be able to pay rent.
Yeah.
God dang it. I wanted to eat dinner, but I guess I'm just going to keep DoorDash until tomorrow.
not getting guac tonight on my Chipotle.
No. Really wanted to afford that. 50 cents extra.
Oh, yeah.
That does bite you.
Yeah, it does. I think it's more than 50 cents at Chipotle.
I've never been to Chipotle, actually.
What? Well,
Yep.
that makes sense. I mean, you grew up in the south side of Tucson, so you know what real Mexican food is.
Yeah.
So why would you ever go to Chipotle?
Yeah, no, really. There's one on our side of town now, so I'm like, I could, but every time I think about it, I'm like, but I'll wait. Like, if it happens, it happens. No rush.
Yeah, no rush at all. Honestly, I mean that's
Shout
what
out
I'm
to
thinking.
Christina.
I mean,
Christina
it's
said she didn't
good.
care about it.
It's the Subway of Mexico.
Taking.
I think it's better quality than that, but actually, I
Owned by
think
McDonald's though.
But I hear people get have to go to the restroom immediately. I mean, kind of like Taco Bell.
that's a stereotype, and that's not necessarily true. If that was the case, I would eat there at least once a week, just for the cleansing. You know,
Just for the.
yeah. Like my daughter she bought tea that helps her flush her out.
Yeah.
So she'll drink it at night and in the morning. So that's her little thing. She likes doing that. And so she, again, does that every night. I would have Chipotle every night if that was the case. And then I would look fantastic. I flush out all the toxins, lose a couple pounds. Yeah.
You gotta be wary of the toilet paper.
Yeah. I mean,
That's true.
if it's liquid, you don't use that much.
Ugh.
I know. I like to get gross here, Drum. We're going to wrap things up here in just a minute. We got 2.5 minutes before we go into our last segment. And then I'll be ending this in time so I could repost it later. Yesterday, I know I ended the stream abruptly because I was running over. And I stopped the stream to try to stop it right before the 1 hour mark. Because the 1 hour mark is the magic number. Anything over that means I can't repost that podcast on social media later or schedule it. And I stopped it at 1 hour and 5 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was hoping, I'm like, oh, it's only 5 seconds. Maybe they'll give it to me. And they're like, nope. To post anything over an hour, you got to pay an extra like $50.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This last segment will be quick, though. The beef tip is talking about Tom Cruise. So I don't like getting Tom Cruise too much. By the way, have you guys said hi to Dre yet? Dre, it's my buddy Dre.
Yeah.
This is first Wednesday. So no, it's not Matt with long hair. I've known Dre for several years now. It was about 4 years.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet on KFMA?
No, we met at the Roadrunners games.
Heard.
Yeah.
So you like the Roadrunners?
I work there.
You work there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he worked with me.
Pay your bills.
Yeah. And so, and then Dre, I just love Dre. I love hanging out with Dre. He's super smart and he's honest with me. Like, so he calls me out on my bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Try
to help him get his life together.
You have like a little poster to help navigate beef. You're just like, hey.
Kinda.
That kind of was my job.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, you know me 4 years. So compared to like how I was 4 years ago to how I am now.
Yes, your girl made you better.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're getting at, yeah.
Another, well, not just my girl, but in general, I made myself better to a certain extent. And
somewhat.
Jay's like, no, it was all your girl.
you would go down the hill whenever you had the girl that wasn't really any good for you.
Yeah, I had a lot of those girls.
Yeah, you would bring them in. I'm like, all right, see how long this one lasts.
Not long. Yeah, they expire like milk. And Dre is actually working on his master's, so he will have a PhD.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
Psychology.
Ooh. That's exciting.
That's so. I mean, basically, I'm just research for his syllabus, hanging out with this nut job. It's gonna make for a good report. All right, we're on here in 14 seconds. I'll wrap it up. All right. Rock 102.1, we're back and we're actually almost out of time. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening. But before I leave, let me leave you with this. Just the other day, Tom Cruise had to land his helicopter in a family's backyard. Now, he was on the way to a meeting, and as Tom Cruise does, he just takes helicopters everywhere. Mission Impossible dude, right? But the airport, for whatever reason, was too congested, and he wasn't able to land. So he landed in somebody's backyard. Now, initially, people are going to be upset about anyone landing in a hospital or landing a helicopter in their backyard. But Tom Cruise got out and said, no, it's okay. I have a meeting to make it up for you. Your kids could ride in the helicopter. Okay. So then the family's kids actually got in a helicopter, went on a joyride courtesy of Tom Cruise. So here's my beef tip of the day. Don't let Tom Cruise take your kids anywhere. What are you doing? You know, it's Tom Cruise, the Mission Impossible guy. The guy has a death wish. I understand he's rich and it's a helicopter, but everything about that is weird. Don't you know about the Illuminati? You know, have you been on Facebook? Tom Cruise, I'm pretty sure, eats babies. Now, allegedly. I don't know this for a fact, but I still would not let my daughter go on a joyride with him in a helicopter, in a limo, on the back of a motorcycle, hell, on the back of a scooter. Would not do it. So that's my beef tip. Keep your kids away from Tom Cruise. Thank you, Dre, for coming in, hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Drum. As always, tomorrow morning, we'll give away another pair of tickets for Bush and SCP and so much more. So till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.